But he's gonna help us record this little interview thing. We can call it an interview. We can call it a date. I don't know, whatever you want to say.
I prefer it's a date, by the way, but no homo.
Yeah, no, nothing I do is ever homo ever, except I gay washed all the characters in this video game. So anyway, cool. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get to know Brayden. It's Brayden, right?
Yes, sir. You got it in the pronunciation correct.
All right.
Now, can you spell it out? Actually, that's the difference.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, dear listeners. Fuck, I messed up the intro. Shit. God damn it. Anyway, I'm here. My name is Solomon, and I'm here with
Brayden. Hello, everybody.
Hello, this is Brayden. He's very, very suave and charismatic. I'm sorry. I'm very tired. I think I'm mentally not here for this one.
Thank you. The comedy is on point already. Love it.
All right, great. I've gone through like 8 of these interviews. I think you're the 8th or something, maybe 9th. I don't know. But anyway, I'm drained. So we're gonna ask you the obligatory question I ask everyone at the start of these, which is, fuck, what's the question? Oh, right. How much did you know about Dead by Daylight before this podcast?
I knew that Dead by Daylight was a very popular video game which let you play a serial killer or let you choose among serial killers hunting down survivors. Some of my closest friends play the game. I myself simply was just an observer whenever they play their nights. So, that was the extent of my Dead by Daylight knowledge before being recruited for the Auric podcast.
You sound like you're trying to, do your announcer voice. I don't... Why? Is that just how you normally speak?
Who knows? Maybe I'm just putting on in front for the interview because I'm so excited and it's so bloody official.
You can be a little less formal. I'm half asleep currently. So, all right. So you didn't know much about Dead by Daylight, but your friends played it. That's what I've kind of gathered too. It's like whenever I bring up Dead by Daylight, even if they have not themselves played it, they know someone who has played it. It's one of those games that's big enough to know of, but not necessarily that everyone's played. So, are you a gamer? Do you play other games?
I used to be a big gamer when I was a teenager, when I was 12 or 14, when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops came out, I was hugely into those. Also, when Overwatch dropped in 2016, haven't touched that game for a freaking while, though.
You can leave it untouched. You can leave it untouched. It's fine.
Oh, jeez. I really sideline gaming. If I ever do play stuff, it's usually indie content or stuff like Final Fantasy and RPGs that I've really missed out on and stuff like that. Okay.
So you're a nerd. Haha.
Legion Frank a nerd. Who would have guessed?
Literally. Well, okay, quickly before we move on though, I just want to say I've been playing Overwatch since 2016. And I have not stopped because it's been an addiction. So if you ever hear or see any of your friends playing Overwatch, tell them to stop. Just tell them it's over. Just help your friends out. Stop it. Get some help. I had a whole other thought. But yeah, so the Legion. So Frank, how was your approach to this character? What did you do any research? How did you get into the shoes of this sociopath?
In order to get into the shoes of this sociopath, I simply tapped into some days where I simply browsed on 4chan, again, as a teenager.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, man. Yep. Oh, dear God, indeed. The instant I saw what Frank was getting up to with 4chan and everything in the Dead by Daylight script, I'm like, oh God, how can I approach this from the most cringeworthy, self-absorbed, nihilistic, narcissistic, black pill possible? Yeah. So when reading for Frank's character and seeing the script, what I wanted to bring out for myself is this. I wanted to tap into the source of some guy who's putting up a front, putting up this false front of confidence when he's forgotten everything that he held dear, being his friends, and also of course bloody murder in favor of just overall I said nihilism that came in the form of this black pilled stuff and these cringy quotes.
Yeah.
From one angle.
For the audience who does not know Dead by Daylight, there's pretty much no evidence that suggests Frank is a total racist in what the game has given. The only reason I made that choice was just because I wanted each of the Legion members to embodies some sort of like characteristics of teenagers nowadays. I figured like how can the internet corrupt these teens? Because as a teenager, I've been corrupted by the internet. But I'm more like Susie in that I was on Tumblr and I was just fandom trash. And Julie's like, you know, the popular girl makeup channel. Joey runs a Twitch stream. And Frank, of course, represents the best part of the internet, the fucking
Yep.
the Redditors. Yeah.
Reddit is a close second, yeah.
Yeah, Reddit is a close second. I'm on Reddit sometimes too, but like not that kind of Reddit. But yeah, so let's back up a little bit. Where as a 14-year-old, you were on 4chan?
Yeah, just to back up to it, yeah, I'll proudly admit that. The board that I browse would be the video games board, not the infamous B or poll boards. Like, oh dear God.
Yeah.
And I had to do a fair bit of research into both poll and B just to recontextualize the type of crap that Frank's basically spewing. He's tricking himself into spewing.
Yeah.
Like, reading the script, I wanted to approach the angle that the front he was putting up with was just like finding and latching onto this like bit of nihilism as like this form of identity and like this sort of like screwed up form of therapy that he's taking because he's all alone in the world after isolating himself from his friends. And it just perpetuated
go on.
And it just perpetuated this like cycle essentially of the more they delve into this, the further they alienate themselves from people. Which is one of the legitimate risks of that side of the internet. It's so easy to get into this like little cycle of nihilism and hatred.
Yeah, you know? that's covered a little bit in Bo Burnham's "Welcome to the Internet" if you pay attention to the lyrics close enough. And also, I think I want to make like a bigger piece about the alt-right pipeline. I think like once I'm done with the Auric style or once I've moved on, I want to like get heavier into that because that topic just like fascinates me because it's really easy for people to fall down that rabbit hole of just mess. But if there's any Nazis listening, you know, more power to you, I guess. But like, yeah, I just think
less.
Yeah, or less. Yeah, or less power. That's probably better. Anyway, not a Nazi. Just clarify. Fuck. But basically, yeah, I don't know. I wanted to take some time to acknowledge that because, how do I word this? It's kind of hard to tell. Frank's a very political character, and it's kind of hard to tell where the DVD community falls when it comes to politics. I made a video about the black representation in this game, right? And I got a lot of feedback of people who were just clearly not okay with me even bringing up race as a thing that exists. But I also got a lot of like support from it. And people were like, "Yeah, we want to talk about more about this." And recently, Dead by Daylight added a pride charm to the game. Like you can show off that you're gay or whatever as a little cosmetic thing, and the community was kind of toxic about it, kind of really toxic about it. But also in games, I see a lot of pride charms. So it seems like DVD fans are gay and homophobic. I don't get it. But yeah, how has your experience been with toxicity in gaming in that way, or maybe just in general in your life? I'm not sure like what exactly you do, but how do you deal with those kind of issues?
From a general perspective of my personal life is toxicity and those types of vibes. I usually just frankly steer clear of those vibes, like when gaming and stuff like that. Then usually like when I was playing Call of Duty, for example, like absolutely no hate symbols. I would just immediately mute the mic, drop it. No trash talk, no bringing up race, no bringing up gender, no attacking people of any sort of things. That just plug in, play the game,
right?
Not mute myself, for example. So when it comes to gaming, from what I can draw in perspective, absolutely, I'm no tolerance. Just don't even engage. Drop a weight and walk away.
That's a good thing to have. But glad you can do that. I wish more people could do that. Okay, but when it comes to Frank. In what we know about his character before I ruined the character, how different do you think you two are? Like, okay, Frank's this guy who was in like foster care for a while, kind of had a shitty life, became darker and more edgy, and then corrupted a group of teens into killing someone. So hopefully you're very different from that, but if you're not, I want to know how you're similar and stuff, you know?
I would say, first of all, I did not come from a broken home at all, so that'd probably be the most fundamental difference of all. Nature over nurture, right?
Yeah.
One thing that I do see a bit of a parallel to Frank in this regard is his confidence and the reason why he's like searching for these answers, and he falls in with the alt-right crowd to try and get this sort of confidence, when in reality it was he already had something and he didn't realize what it was. Then he didn't realize it was in front of him with his little tight clique of killers.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, I wasn't too sociable. I was able to make friends and stuff like that, but I wasn't this like what's the word I'm looking for here? Like
Chad.
Well, that is one way of thinking of it, but like just like
extrovert, like, maybe
over extrovert, yeah. Because I used to be, surprisingly, I used to talk either a lot more or a lot less, depending on how close you were with me.
Fair enough.
So, you know, when I think of Frank, I think of him as some like lonely teenager who's trying to find his, like, still trying to find his place in the world. And that was kind of the angle I tried to lean into, is that he was so unsure of where he belonged, even after like forming this little clique of killers, that, you know, he ends up falling in with the wrong crowd. I can't believe Lucky Stars, like, I didn't fall in a wrong crowd. I was savvy enough and had a stable enough friend group that I was able to steer clear of any toxic situations like that, for the most part.
Okay. So, so did you have any major struggles with confidence when you were in your teen years, or?
Oh, bloody hell, big time. Big time.
Not a dumb question, all of us did, but
yeah. Go ahead. I know. It's fine. Probably just came with like a bunch of self-depreciation and like not really knowing my self-worth really as a teenager. Oh. That big thing.
And what helped you learn your self-worth? Or how are you still struggling with it? Or...
what helped me learn from it was both essentially talking things out, hashing things out, being a supportive friend group who was able to push me into situations where I could improve myself. Like, for example, I have one friend, and he would say all kindness and honestly, like, stop with the depreciating humor, and he gave me this saying: if you feel it's okay to chuck bricks at yourself, people will chuck stones at you, for example.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So there I give is just one example of how I eventually built up this the confidence and the willpower to make something of myself from that regard.
Right. How far away are you from your teenage years? You don't have to give me like exact age, but like how recent was this development? Because I'm still 19. I have no idea how old you are. I kind of thought 24. You were a teenager. 24. Okay, that's not that far, but
not too far, but still plenty strides. It really all began honestly as soon as I hit like 19, 20.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's all up from here.
Yeah, hopefully. So you said you've really been trying to focus on like making something of yourself and believing in yourself and stuff, right? So I assume voice acting is part of that, or is that just like a thing you do for fun? Like, what is the goal there?
Honestly, that is indeed a big part of it. I've been participating in community theaters and school plays since grade school, and I set it aside for university. But you know,
university. Sorry, it's called college. We don't call. Ugh.
Yeah. Here. Yep. Sorry, the Canadian A in me.
Yeah. It's fun fact, everyone. He's Canadian. Yep. You can now boo him.
It's okay. It's okay. I accept being booed. Canada's currently a clown shit on the world stage, so you know.
Oh damn. Okay. Well, maybe we won't get into Canadian politics right now, but you said something about university and the voice acting theater.
Yeah. So where I was going with that was I actually didn't major in theater. One of my other life's passions is history, and it gave me like all these sorts of stories and these historic little moments essentially in politics and interweaving like social economic fibers that make up our modern day. I just spewed word salad.
I got it, but I mean, I think we get it. We get the gist.
Yeah, the gist of it. That's fine. Yeah. So after finishing university and going through this the pandemic, I mean, have you brushed up on that in these interviews? The pandemic a lot?
Actually, a lot of the voice actors who I talked to so far have been like, oh yeah, I started because of the pandemic, because theaters were closed down. I couldn't be on stage anymore, which is literally what I did. So I'm one of those too, actually. So.
Well, count me in as that as well. It's also an avenue I've been thinking about pursuing for a while, but I always just had it on the back burner. And again, the pandemic just gives you so much time to actually consider and reevaluate yourself.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah.
We're not getting into my psychology today, but that's cool. So you said you were a history major in university.
Yeah, at university. Yeah.
So, what drew you to that?
What drew me to that was part of it was indeed being a gamer. Not saying that Call of Duty completely turned me into it, but when I first see these big battles and see these like films on TV and these stage shows and Saving Private Ryan and all that, it got me thinking, and it got me to buy all these books about like war history and like measurements and like these historical battle overviews and the politics surrounding it.
Right.
And because of that, I kind of like did a deep dive, and like whenever Canadian history came up, like which was mandatory in the 10th grade, it'd be like, okay, time to go ham about Europe and what was going down. This guy called Franz Ferdinand got killed.
I actually have no
Everything.
idea about Canadian history. I don't know. I know nothing about how that country formed. Do you want to give like a 6-second synopsis of Canadian history?
6-second synopsis of Canadian
60
history.
seconds, like just a minute of whatever. How did Canada get here? Why are we stuck with this now?
Why are we stuck this now? Because some Brits decided to pull the rugs out from under the French.
Oh,
300
spicy.
years ago. Yeah,
Drama.
a little spicy. And then, boringness, maple syrup, fur trading instead of revolution.
That's it. That's it.
Unironically, instead of revolutions like in the Americas, we instead just get freaking fur trades.
So when you study Canadian history in 10th grade or whatever, is it just a bunch of fucking fur trading for 200 years? Like,
yeah, it's more like a glorified view of like well, I shouldn't say glorified. That's not what we do, try not to do. But what the first bit of Canadian history plays out, and it more plays out like British colonial history, honestly, when it's like how British and French colonial history, really.
right.
It focuses on the French figures who first settled in what's now known as Quebec, and then the English come in and take it from them due to the 12 Years' War, and then all British politics and like yada yada, freaking yada.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. All right, so you're from Canada. The guy who plays Dwight is from Canada, and I think the guy who voices person who voices the Oni is from Canada. I will be avoiding all of you. Just making a list currently of all the people I need to block.
Okay, all right, fine then. I stripped myself from this production. Thanks,
this is
man.
fair. I'll voice Frank. Hey guys, you ready to go do some 4chan activities? Let's go smoke. Anyway, so back to history really quick. I had to do a lot of history research into these killers because a lot of them are from different time periods and different parts of the world. You've got like Trapper, who is like 1920s Seattle, Washington, whereas like the plague is like 3000 BC Babylon. So I guess my question to you is like, what area of time is like interesting to you historically? Like, what is there any particular historical event or time period that you really enjoy as a historian?
The period of time that I most enjoy as a historian. Oh boy, that is an absolutely. Oh geez, how do I get around this? There's so many to choose from. So many important moments. Come on.
Okay,
what are we doing here?
Pick a important. It does not have to be a favorite. It's fine.
A really important moment. I'm actually going to go with an unorthodox choice and say that it would have probably been the unorthodox choice, let's see, would be the I would actually say that Treaty of 1812, when Napoleon was defeated and all the European powers got together to form those treaties and alliances.
Right. What draws you to say that? Like, what was the impact of that? Or why is it interesting to you?
What's interesting to me is that all these grand military powers and empires at the beginning of the 19th century, the long 19th century, that began with Napoleon's final defeat, the Treaty of Vienna, I believe it was, the Peace of Vienna. They were all setting up these contingencies and fallback plans and big alliances so that way no one would try and fight each other and set up these contingencies. And because of that, the big powder keg that would lead to like the First and eventual Second World War was set, because all these powers were thinking, oh, okay, we're big enough, we're going to surround each other.
Yeah.
We're going to use the size of our own empires to make sure that we don't get into a big destructive conflict. And that only held out so long until the 1914s when the powder keg reached critical mass.
Right. So do you think the powder keg is going to hit mass again? Are we headed towards World War III? What's your prediction?
The prediction for this current state of affairs of the world today. Oh man.
That's a big question, I know. But
it is overall a decent thing that looking at the world powers right now, we got Canada. I know it's a clown on the world stage, but we have Canada, the US now under new leadership. We have also the EU as well.
Right.
And on the other side, we have folks like the crews of Russia, China, and North Korea, and that big alliance, that big hegemony over there in the east.
Right.
If there was to be another, well, I think the critical region to focus on, honestly, would be Asia. That's the most critical region. Looking at both China, North Korea, and looking at the relationships of their surrounding countries and territories.
You know, I'm glad I cast you as Frank, since you're so political already. It's just kind of a natural quinky dink.
Yeah.
But yeah.
History and politics, it's very much intertwined.
Yeah, definitely.
So something were to happen in Asia, that would unfortunately be the spark. It's not going to come from the Middle East. It's not going to come from like the current conflict in the Middle East, like the Israel versus Palestine, the conflict, that sort of thing. As critical as that could be, I think the place to watch would be Asia. Honestly.
All right. Well, I'll keep my eye on Asia. Yeah. I personally will watch every Asian affair and just make sure, hey guys, cut it out. But backing up just a little bit more, I think I cut you off entirely when you're talking about voice acting.
No, it's fine. I enjoy this little history rant. It feels like it's been ages since I've been able to go on things as I've been talking about and doing acting and stuff.
Fair enough. But speaking of acting, talk to me about that. I think when we last left off, you were talking about how you started doing stuff during the pandemic, or what?
Yeah, so for community theater and all that sort of things, that I'd already had that long been doing that, like both in school plays and with community theater around my hometown area.
Right.
Thinking, let's just see, I always had a little passion for performing. It's always been a part of me. And I suppressed it for a long time due to university and like thinking about what I was going to do for the rest of my life. Yeah. And while there are plenty of people who said, oh, you can make a better living doing something else than voiceover, which for real is true indeed. Like 95% and plus, it's like god awful the statistics when you look at them.
Yeah.
I, don't really focus so much on the monetary aspect, which I know it's easier to say than actually to really commit to. But
makes sense, yeah.
The ultimate life philosophy is enjoy what you do. And as they say, you truly won't work a day in your life. Wink. So
that's funny because I spent fucking 7 hours a day at my computer editing this goddamn podcast, and I do love it. I love the fun moments that happen, but I am fucking tired. Anyway, no, that's just me being salty. I like that I get to do this. This is fun.
Yeah.
I liked editing your episode in particular. I think the Legion episode's like my favorite because not my favorite. I think episode 9's my favorite. But
the creator saying favorite, that's loaded.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess I gotta finish till all these episodes are like fully edited. But I really did enjoy the Legion one quite a bit just because it feels different from the other episodes. Mainly because Trapper and Wraith aren't in it until the very end, so it just has a different feeling to it.
Oh my.
But I think when you actually get to hear it, you'll enjoy it too. It's very like the voices just come together really well, and the group chemistry is interesting. Speaking of which, I had a question for you. Do you think how do you think Frank feels about the other members of the Legion? He's probably got strong feelings about all of them. And what do you think as someone who's spent a lot of time with this character?
Spent a lot of time. Man, this guy bigoted for one. Looking at freaking Joey's black, like, oh my god. I almost had a conniption like reading that freaking line of a sudden.
What's that caught me off guard. What does that mean?
Conniption is, I believe, when you're so angry that you start tossing things or flipping out. Like it's an alternate way of saying flip out. My vocabulary, right?
History majors, am I right?
Right, yes. Yeah, I'm just gonna get milked. Let's crud. I'm already drawing a blank on the other Legion members' names, but his actual, because I know there's Susie as well and Joey, but the main love interest like Stacy, Julie. Okay,
Stacy's mom.
Stacy.
Anyway, Julie.
Definitely freaking like is still deeply madly in love with her, even when he like leaves and like says all this cringe shit. Like the self-perpetuating hatred was simply just because he couldn't get over the fact that he screwed it up with her.
Yeah. When you were a teenager, did you have? It's like one of those like teenage tropes to have like a mad love interest. Did you ever have one of those?
No, and I guess that kind of explains what I was talking about earlier. Wink, wink.
I don't know what you're winking at. What?
winking at myself. Right?
I don't know what that means, but that's a more interesting answer than I thought it was going to be.
Yep.
All right. Well, good for you.
Yep. So, yeah. So just thinking about his feelings, yeah, and how just got it again. It was like a self-perpetuating cycle with Frank, and I'll emphasize that once more. Like he was just so distraught about having messed it up that he just fell into that trap. It took him a while to realize that he too messed up big time, and that he couldn't just go around blaming Julie, as what was his character arc was like in that episode. He just couldn't go around. Susie.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna ask quickly. Have you ever met guys who have that mindset of incel red pill kind of thing?
No. And if they did, snap out of it, man. Come on.
That's your advice to all the simps listening right now.
Yeah, simps, come on, simp, she doesn't notice you. If you're simping for her, it's not going to get you anything. Focus on yourself first.
All right, I will focus on myself instead of focusing on you. That'll be my new goal there.
Oh boy, congrats! I had a simp this whole time. What do you know?
You never know. You never knew. Although I'm simping for all my casts, actually. I really started to appreciate all of you guys. Now that I've been talking to you, you're all just way more instantly attractive. It just happens, Although I think I'm younger than most. I think I'm the only. I think the only person younger than me is the guy who voices Joey. Everyone else is older than me, but it's okay. It's fine. We're all good.
Oh, for real?
Okay.
Yeah.
I had another thing to ask you because we're just ping-ponging here. This is very chaotic.
Well, that's dynamic, right?
Yeah. I'm a fucking mess. My question was, I didn't write down questions to ask you because I wanted this to be off the cuff, but now I'm kind of regretting that choice. Shit, no, I had a really good question. Now it's fucking gone.
Oh boy.
No, this is your fault. I'm blaming you for this.
Congrats. You're welcome.
Not congrats. Yeah, I totally drew a blank. Wow, this is really bad entertainment. You talk about something interesting that you can do. Go. You have any talents?
Unique talent. Well, I wouldn't call this a unique talent, but I can curl my tongue in the shape of a U. It's not something you can hear, and not something that you can easily see.
You gotta send me a video so I can edit it into this, please. Put on your OnlyFans. That'll get you a bunch of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Foot modeling. Go now.
I didn't say all that, but I mean, if you want to show your feet for the podcast, you can. I'm not stopping you, I guess. Man, I'm so sorry. I had so many things to ask you, and then my entire brain just melted into goo. You can still hear me, right?
I can 100% still hear you.
Okay. Why don't you talk about your entire life story so I can stall for time? Just hit the highlights.
The highlight of my life?
No, I mean start from conception, obviously, and then go to 24 years later.
24 years later?
Yeah.
It was a dark and stormy night. Anyway, 24 years later.
Okay, I love that story. A really fun story you got going on there.
24 years later. One of the highlights of my life was actually going to Europe.
You went to Europe?
Yeah, and it was 2019. It was literally just the year before the pandemic itself hit. We were so lucky.
Yeah. Why'd you go to Europe?
We went to Europe because it was a graduation gift for university and also for my youngest siblings' graduation gift from high school. It was a combined little thing.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Yep.
What part of Europe did you go to?
We first hit Rome for a few days, and it was really great to see both the history. It's a really big tourist city in Rome, Italy, and it was just so fantastic. You could look around everywhere, and you could see at least some part of ancient Rome still there, be it little pillars or these little ancient ruins of Acropolises and little townhouses and these big stone mosaics and a big field. and the old circus, actually.
Oh, I remember my question now. Okay, it's back, but keep talking about Rome. Rome sounds cool.
Yep, it was very cool. And then, of course, there was the Colosseum itself. It's much larger than you'd expect, and there's little bits and pieces missing because different Roman emperors like took it. Like when the Christians took their made their monuments, they like took it from the Colosseum or something like that. They took the marble stones from the Colosseum.
They recycled. They were good for the environment.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Good. Go them.
Yep.
Did you go anywhere else in Europe?
Yep, and then from Rome, we then went to Vatican City, because technically that city-state's its own thing for the day, had breakfast there, and then we hopped on a cruise that took us to Greece, to the islands of Santorini and Mykonos.
Nice. Is there anything fascinating about that history? Like, do you...
It's Italian Greek history. It has its roots in the ancient times. The Santorini, island Santorini was actually named so by the Italian settlers there, even though it's Greek territory.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe there had something to do with like a volcano around Santorini, like an ancient volcano going off, you know?
Lots of volcanoes around that area, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, my knowledge is pretty poor, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question from earlier to ping pong to a different thing entirely, was just what have you done as a voice actor, like that you've been in, and like what's been fun for you to do? Aside from this project, you don't have to say this. I mean, obviously, my ego wouldn't appreciate if you said this, but just what other things have you done that was really cool for you to be a part of?
The first thing that I was a part of, actually, the one that I always remember, is I was recruited for a fan dub of a comic called Death of a Pop Star. It was through Casting Club, the same avenue that this came from. Shout out to that site and Voice Acting Club Discord as well.
I'm from. I know the Discord server.
Yep. So
continue though.
That's the first thing I heard this thing. I was given the voice of this little doctor who's a side character, and it was the highlight of the episode when someone in the YouTube comments went and said, "The doctor is such a nice voice." Shout out to that person, by the way. Amazing.
They're listening right now. They're listening right now.
They will be listening right now. Yep. And to that I say, I love you.
that small dose of validation started a whole thing, didn't it?
Of course it did. That's why it all snowballed to this.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll snowball to other things in the future too.
Yep, that just takes effort and time. Time.
Would you say that? So, with your history major, do you plan to use that as like the main thing you do in life with voice acting, like on the side, or is this something you want to like seriously, like super pursue? Yada yada yada. Because I think actually with your skills in both things, I would totally listen to you just talk about some history thing. You could start your own podcast just for history, and I'd listen to it.
Well, thank you, sir. That's honestly a good idea. If they need like a guest, I can like organize some little thoughts, share my views on the history things. Yeah, that's indeed something that I can put on the back burner to think about. But right now, I actually do seriously want to pursue acting in general, not just voice acting. Like once theater and stage and stuff come up, because I'm still looking forward to do that. I'll forever love the stage. First off, like that, that can be taken away from. Looking at maybe some film and television, even though I haven't really gotten in on that avenue just yet. We're slower on the upkeep in Canada, and that's one of the big things. The film and television industry is slower to pick up on.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. But honestly, the wiser call would be still keep picking at this, like juggle two careers, and then hopefully the ideal is show business works out, and then that can be the main avenue. But for more practical terms, usually having an exit strategy or fallback plan in the form of teaching is the second.
Nice. You know, if you were a teacher, that'd be dope as shit. I'd be chilling in your class. That'd be cool. Would you want to teach? Like, what grade would you want to teach? Like, what age?
Honestly, it would be the junior, senior years of high school, or as they are known here in Canada, grade 11 and 12, or 11th and 12th grade.
Canada's everything wrong. Canada's everything wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have the British influence.
See, I'm just not convinced that Britain is like a real place. I think they made it up, honestly.
Yeah, don't worry, it's true. Yeah, it's made up as well. I went to England. It's all made up.
Yeah, no, we have voice actors, I think, who are like from there. But like they're not, like they just lied, you know.
Yep, it's all made up. It's all this big facade we all just go with.
Yeah, I'm sure we can find that on poll somewhere. Britain is straight up not real.
Oof.
Yeah.
You dropped the poll word. Dang it.
You said it first.
Yep. Yep. I didn't need
Yeah.
to say that first, but oof.
I'm gonna be
Watching
honest
off
though.
the
I've
soap.
actually never been on 4chan just because I'm so scared. I just can't bring myself
Good.
to. I think I'm gonna get doxxed if I go in there like immediately. They'll just smell the gay on me and be like, "No, get out." Um.
Yes.
But what?
To quote Obi-Wan, "Never have you seen a more wretched hive of scum and villainy."
I actually have
That's
not seen Star
4chan.
Wars either. I
What?
watch. Yeah, no, everyone always says that. They say exactly like what?
What?
Okay. Okay, that's kind of a lie. It's gonna sound worse though. I watched the prequels and then got bored and stopped.
On one
So
hand, you at least watch the prequels first. On the other,
yeah, I don't know. I don't remember most of it. Um, so fuck, shrug if I know it. I
yeah.
assume you like Star Wars though.
Oh yeah, like big time.
So
Grew
you
up in the
are a
prequels era.
nerd.
Yep, very much a nerd.
Uh,
That is indeed one of the exciting things you can look forward to. Not sure if I can speak out about one thing, but the second thing, and up, that's already a bad thing. The second thing I can speak out to is I'm a part of a machinima series, and they'll be coming soon. They already have the teaser trailer out.
Whoa, that's really awesome.
Yep, you can
When
look
that
at.
drops, because okay, I'm gonna release this interview after episode 7 drops, which should be like September or October. So
Good
if you
birthday
get a, if
present
you
for me.
oh cool, if you get a link to that, just let me know so I can put it in the description of the video. Also,
Oh
wait,
yeah.
what does that make your zodiac sign?
Oh, Libra.
Okay, I actually don't care about zodiac signs whatsoever. I just ask to be annoying, and because I know
Yep,
there'll be like one person in the audience who cares.
probably. If you guys are
but
listening, oy vey.
Yeah, literally. I'm a Sagittarius. I just like that sign because no one ever makes fun of Sagittarius. They're never like no one's ever like it was Sagittarius. Like no, they're always liked. I've heard a lot of hate for Scorpios and Geminis and Libras, but never my sign. It feeds my God complex.
Oh man.
Yeah. How's your God complex doing? Is it thriving? Like
The God complex is more like a demigod complex, if you catch the drift.
so you're the quirky protagonist who's like half god, half not. You're Percy Jackson. Is that your
Oh
role
man.
in life?
Yeah, I'm just Percy Jackson, totally. Hey, that's Poseidon's my dad.
Yeah.
I command the sea. I'm like Aquaman, but not well written.
Ooh, not that. I mean, the movie was like bad, but I think the books were pretty good. I think.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to finish the books. Did you ever? What? This will tell me a lot about your personality. What like young adult books did you read as a like 13, 14-year-old, or were you not ever in that phase?
I read the Aragon series. The movie was god awful, but the actual books, Aragon Eldest and the third Aragon book, I forget the title, they were pretty decent, and then there was a fourth.
Right.
Yeah, that ruined the trilogy theme.
Yeah.
So that was one series that I actually remember being a part of, and the second was the Golden Compass's movie, the Golden Compass book, his Dark Materials book, I think.
Okay, so you were kind of like you had like an outsider take. It wasn't like Hunger Games, Twilight,
Oh, Hunger Games?
Divergent.
Nope. Hunger Games I did read, but Divergent and Twilight, no.
Okay.
Twilight, I read most of the books, actually, so partially a lie, but couldn't do it with Breaking Dawn. Just had to put it back down. Went, nope, absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean you're absolutely valid. I've never seen the movies, never read the books, and I kind of want to just to be messy, just because everyone hates on it. But cool. I have another question too. So you said you're not like a super big gamer anymore, right? So like, what do you do all day for like, aside from working, obviously, what do you do for entertainment if you don't play video games that much?
I also like to paint and play with miniatures. So yep, we're getting super nerdy. We're now in the geeky zone.
Oh
Painting
no.
miniatures. Yeah, it's now geek. It's now gone beyond it.
Yeah,
Citadel
Jesus.
miniatures. Yep. Star Wars Legion. That miniature game plus Games Workshop's games. So Warhammer, The Age of Sigmar, and it's sci-fi thing. Warhammer 40,000. Those miniatures. Space Marines.
Do you wear glasses?
No, actually.
Okay,
And
so
knock
you're
on
not
wood, I
like
never will.
yeah, so you're not that level of nerd. Okay, all right, cool.
Nope.
Well, at least there's a saving grace there.
Yeah.
I wear glasses. I'm wearing my glasses right now, actually. Cool. How did you get into making miniatures? I've never like done that.
Just through friends in high school. Some guy brought his Warhammer fantasy miniatures in, and I'm like, oh, what is this? It's like, what, we can play Lord of the Rings on a tabletop? And ironically, there is a Lord of the Rings a miniature line as well, but I wasn't into that.
Have you ever played D&D?
Yes, and yeah, more nerdy stuff, right? More geeky stuff, right?
No, literally, I'm just. How often did you like play, or like was that like a one-off thing?
D&D, we still have a nightly gamer group. Like my friends and I all got together, like Pathfinder, D&D, or what is it, Starfinder, the sci-fi equivalent of Pathfinder, or Call of Cthulhu, all that stuff. There's a role-play night once a week with my friend group.
Oh, so you have a bunch of nerds who just coddle around.
Yep, we use Discord. Who would have thought to communicate?
Yeah, you're right. You're so fucking right. Yeah, I tried joining a D&D group one time, but I didn't know the guys, and it was kind of awkward. And the DM was just, anyway.
Randos are crap. Rando games are crap. You gotta have an experienced DM.
I've noticed a lot of the other directors I've talked to are DMs in life. And I've DM'd a few D&D games, but they're usually bootleg. We don't bust out the character sheets. We just keep things in our head, and we don't use dice. We use like an RNG machine. It's very ghetto, but it like works because it's faster paced, and it's my style of directing. But yeah, I've noticed that all the voice actors I've talked to recently, they've had like D&D was their gateway drug into this kind of thing.
And indeed is. And you can't blame them. It stresses your acting and your improv skills. So, hey.
This is true. Yeah, we're all a bunch of nerds. Yeah. Do you play any, or did you currently? I don't know your life, man. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Do you do any sport ball activities? Anything like that?
No, I played soccer when I was a kid, but I didn't have to quit soccer because the soccer skills quit me.
Fair enough. Yeah. Felt that.
Currently just into more like skiing and swimming, just those two things for sports wise, really. And they're more like casual, like relaxed things, not like hardcore alpine racing skiing or competitive swimming. Yeah. More casual in that regard.
So you live in an area of Canada where you can just like ski casually, like?
No, I'm actually on the I'm in the province of Ontario. That's bordered. It's a pretty massive province. We got underneath it. We got Illinois. We also have
Wait, there's an Illinois in Canada? Oh wait, no, I'm slow as fuck.
We're talking about the border. Okay. The U.S. we're bordered.
Yeah, there we go. Yep. Never mind, I'm slow as shit. Continue.
Okay. We got New York State. What else we got? We also got Michigan State. We also got Illinois. That's, I believe, all it's bordering Ontario. Let me try and think. Is there anything? Vermont's more like in the middle, by the side the East Coast, more like. Slightly more further than. But yeah. So in the East Coast, like think like the culture is fairly America light. In this region of Canada, like most people live within like 100 kilometers of the U.S. border here in Canada. Out of our 35 million or 37 million population, yes. Should I have said miles instead? Like what? Like 70 miles? Yeah, like 70.
I have no idea. I have no idea how many miles that is, but now I understand you. Now I can understand your language. Continue.
Yeah, right. Canadianisms. What?
Cool.
But yeah, the entire population of Canada can fit inside California. California and Canada have the exact same amount of population almost. Like
really?
36 million people.
So everyone seems to be a bit more like spread out in Canada?
Big time, yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know much about the geography, but it's pretty big, I guess. So that's a factor.
Like 40 minutes north and you're already in like woodland, essentially.
Woodland.
Yep.
The woods.
Yep, the woods.
Do you think that Frank is good? Because Frank's also Canadian, actually. I think he's more in Alberta.
Yeah. Yep. That's Alberta.
Do you do you think the Legion is good Canadian representation? Are Canadians represented well in the media?
I think so, man. He's nice in his own way, eh?
I hate. Okay, I need to find a way to end this conversation.
No.
No. Okay, we're gonna keep talking then.
Keep talking.
I'm out of things to say to you though, because I can't. We can't just talk about Canada for 40 more minutes.
Well, I mean, we ourselves don't even want to talk about Canada for 40 minutes over here.
Is that the
Right?
culture there? Because we as Americans can talk about America all day, whether we love it or hate it. We can spew about it for hours. I know I could.
Nah, can't. Just too much politeness going over here. All right.
Are the stereotypes okay? How true are the Canadian stereotypes actually? Are the stereotypes like as true as they may seem?
Funnily enough, some stereotypes are indeed as true as they are, and others are very much exaggerations. Like, no, we don't all live in igloos for one, and poutine isn't everyone's favorite dish. Get it?
Yeah.
People do not like some people actually don't like fries with a gravy and cheese curds on it.
I would hate that.
That
makes me sick just thinking about it, actually.
Yep, the magic recipe.
Do you like it?
I haven't had poutine in years, like 3 years or 4 years.
Oh.
Very uncommon. Okay. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Forever. It also probably helps that I'm lactose intolerant, so having any time that we have poutine, it's a mistake.
Oh yeah, I'm lactose intolerant too, but like I've just kind of trained my body to get over it. Like I used to just feel terrible bowel syndromes whenever I ate cheese or dairy, but then I was like, ice cream tastes too good for this shit. You're gonna get used to it, body, and it did. And now I still drink milkshakes and I still feel pain, but I just suck it up and deal with it because I just dairy is so good. I can't.
That kind of is a better description of Canada right here. What
do you mean?
The ice cream of Canada. It's like, yeah, it's pain, but we deal with it.
Fair enough. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
But on stereotypes, some people are indeed as very much Canadian. Nice, sorry, how are you doing there, bud? That's a bit of hose or skookum. And those are Canadianisms.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. Others are just like, you may as well just be from like New York State or other people. Like, but keep to ourselves. Like, not everyone's like so super friendly. That's one stereotype that isn't true. There's definitely some nice and definitely some mean things.
So, out of the like giant Canadian stereotype, would you say you're like, how Canadian are you actually? Are you like 100% that, or are you like 50, or like, are you not like other Canadians? You're you're different and special.
Well, for a given value, our favorite coffee, Tim Hortons, I do drink that every morning. So, that's one thing that does probably amp up the Canadianness factor to at least minimum 60%, choosing Tim's.
Fair enough. That's a good, fair enough.
Yep.
It's kind of hard. I don't think the same thing can apply to America just because every state's really, not every state, but like every region's really different. So I don't know if there's like a big image of what an American would look like just because we're all so very weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I would say I'm pretty American. I kind of hate it here, but I wouldn't want to live anywhere else really. Besides maybe Britain, just because I like speaking in a British accent sometimes, and I feel like I could fit in.
Yep, that is probably one of the most American things I've ever heard. Don't really like it at times, but I never live anywhere else.
Yeah, that's the culture here.
Anyway.
So your character Frank, he is very just down with murder and kind of likes to do it. What's your preferred murder method? How would you do that if you were a serial killer and had to get away with it and stuff?
If I was a serial killer, okay, I'm sorry, my to the FBI and Canadian intelligence agencies that are listening in on this conversation. Oh man,
it's the Canadian Intelligence Agency. What is it gonna do to you?
Right. The RCMP actually, technically, the Canadian Mounties. Let's see what the murder method that I choose.
I don't like how your voice dropped like 2 octaves there.
Yeah. Sorry. Even thought. Let's see. Poisoning.
Ooh, poisoning. Cute.
Yep.
Cute.
Would you target?
Would you target anyone like in particular, or just whoever annoyed you that day, or?
Probably deliberately. It probably wouldn't be so much as annoyance casual killing. If you're gonna do that, put in the effort. Make it more like an assassination stealth kills type of thing.
Yeah,
target premeditated.
Taking notes.
Yep, take notes about what kind of killer I'd be. The assassin.
Yeah, interesting. Let me see if there's any questions I could ask you that don't put you on a list somewhere.
Right.
What are you most excited for to happen to you in the near future, like plans coming up and stuff, or general life trends? Is there anything you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to spending time at the cottage with my friends this coming weekend.
Oh, that's cute.
Yep.
You guys gonna do more D&D shit?
Nope, this is the actual outdoor fun crew. We're gonna go out swimming, kayaking. We actually go outside and do things. My goodness.
I've not been outside in like 6 days. I have not touched grass in so long.
Touch that grass, man.
Nah, I feel like if I touch grass, I'll just lose all the characteristics that make me me. I would lose all the horny and all the depravity. I need those things to exist as a person. That was a joke. That was mostly a joke. Listen,
mostly.
That was mostly a joke. So you, at least you're not down bad. At least you're not a simp. Hopefully.
Never simp.
Never simp. Yeah, I'm officially out of questions. Fuck.
Here.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color? Green.
Oh, that's kind of a gross choice. Why?
Green. Probably just because it reminded me of the Lego Warriors. Like, there's a Lego Ninja that's green, and there's also a Knight that's green. Also, another thing. Yep. Yeah. Just eating up and laughing at it.
I'm sorry. It's just you picked the like nerdiest answer you possibly could for why you like the color green.
Good.
But
well, hey, come on. That's a representation of me. That's the first thing I default to. Part of my thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
And guess what? It only gets even nerdier because greens also looks like a really good lightsaber color. More Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if I had a lightsaber, it'd be like pink, just for the sake of it. It's gonna sound kind of weird. But when 2021 rolled around, I was wearing a red jacket, and I was like, you know what, red is going to be my color this year. I'm going to make red my color. And then gradually, as I became more and more gay, it drifted to pink, because pink is just like red with some white in it. So now pink is my color, and I just think that like pink's really cool. I like pink quite a bit.
The rosé color.
Has there ever been a pink lightsaber in Star Wars, or did they never pander to the female audience like that?
There's a purple lightsaber that's close enough, thanks to Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson.
He's in Star Wars? What?
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson's in the prequel trilogy. He plays the old council master Windu, who's the second to the little frog guy Yoda.
It has been quite a few years since I've actually seen the prequels. Maybe I'm just forgetting everything.
That's fine. A lot of people like to pretend they didn't happen, but I feel they're underrated. That's just my personal opinion, though.
Wow, you're gonna get canceled for that.
Yep, I am getting canceled.
It's that's your statement that will cancel you.
Yep, indeed. Well, Solomon, thank you for having me on this interview.
Oh, great! You're ending this, so I don't have to. Thank God. Okay, cool.
Of course.
Because I was really struggling to think of anything else to say.
Don't worry, Grass and Straws. Come on, I couldn't get that sense from you at all. Don't worry.
Everyone knows I'm professional here, and No, never mind. All right, so Brayden, thank you so much for this talk. I like to end on like an inspiring note. So is there anything you want to say to like any one out there who? What general life advice would you give to anyone listening currently? Go.
If I were to use Frank as the inspiration for this,
oh boy,
get out there and do what makes you happy. Congrats, channel a little bit of Frank there.
That's not.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy as long as you're not murdering people.
Yes, that's the caveat.
That's the caveat.
Yep, caveat.
All right, well, that's inspiring as fuck. Thanks for listening, guys. This has been Solomon and
Brayden, aka Frank the Legion.
Awesome. Cool. I think with that we've introed off Legion, guys. All of those are done now. Thank God. Cool. Yeah. Thanks so much for being here, and I will talk to you later if I ever talk to you ever again.
All right. See you guys. Bye.